Hi, hello. It is, sorry, my camera is moving. Let's get that settled. I am Heather Wolpole, and I am the owner here at UU Yarns. And today, that is exactly what I wanted to talk about. Yesterday, I got a really nice customer email that said, "Wait, you own UU Yarns? I love your yarn. I didn't realize that it was you." And so I thought that might be a fun topic to come in and chat about. Let's see what she said. It was such a nice email. She said, "Wait a minute, you make UU yarns? I love your yarn for years. I haven't bought any lately because I have such a big stash that I'm trying to apply self-discipline to stop buying for a while. But back to my question, UU is your company?" And the short answer is yes. UU Yarns is 100% my company. I started it from my savings account 13 years ago. I was in the yarn industry as my job prior to that, and so I knew how to have yarn made, and I contacted a mill. And when I say yarn is made, I'm not there spinning the yarn and shearing the sheep. I have my yarn made for me, manufactured. Just like if you were going to go have notebooks printed or t-shirts made or uh, you know, any other product good. That is what I did. I went to a manufacturer and I said, "I would like to make a merino yarn." And they said, "That's great, Heather." And they sent me some samples. I tried some things. And then I chose some colors. Well, I designed some colors actually. So my color palette is all my design and doing. I was a graphic designer. I am a graphic designer by trade, so color is kind of my thing. So the entire line of UU Yarns is very intentionally designed to work with all the other colors. And yeah, they're all mine. And the product is actually mine too. It's made to my specification. The twist of the yarn, the softness of the merino that we get, where the merino comes from, all of those things, and then down to the colors and the labels. I design, like I said, I'm a graphic designer. I designed the labels. This one's a little battered. We'll get a freshie. So yeah, I made these little icons for the side, and I wrote the gauge. All of those little things are things I have done throughout the years. If you want to call it a side hustle, I started UU while I was still working for other companies, but it has been my full-time job for many years now. And yeah, it's my job. It's what I do every day. I love it. I get up and I get to, I get to mail yarn. I get to think about what colors might be coming next. I get to plan patterns. I get to collaborate with designers. I get to, oh, maybe today's going to be a photography day. Okay. Every day is like a new adventure. Some things work, some things don't. But, over the years, it's like it builds and builds, and here we are. Somehow I took my first shipment of yarn about 13 years ago, which is wild. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you a little brief what's what about UU. I know we're in this kind of like, we're all consumers and you wonder where stuff's coming from. And Yeah, this is a one woman operation, a woman owned business, and it's just me. So if you like to support companies like that, I would always, even if you just want to get a pattern and knit it, that I thank you very much. Like I said, I love doing this, and I really I enjoy my customers. You guys are so nice. Like I said, even just getting that email kind of brought me. I was like, oh, well, how nice that she even took the time to write in and ask questions to get to know you and everything more. So I thought maybe some others would like to know as well. But I see we have a lot of comments. I want to come in and see what's going on today. Deborah, hi, how are you? Heather, looking forward to your podcast today. It's always nice to see you, Deborah. You probably have some new projects going, I'm sure. Laura, good afternoon. Nice to see you. Thank you. Oh, geez. My sweater snagged on my bracelet. Okay. Hi, Laura, from in the Pacific Northwest. Where are you? Ohio. Very nice. Love seeing that. Math problem solving skills. There's so many yarn manufacturers and brands. What do you see missing in the marketplace that you wanted to fill? Oh, that's a great question. Sue, hi everyone. Karen, nice to see you today. I love your yarn work. So good for color work. Yes, it is good for color work. So at the time when I started UU Yarns, there had been a yarn that was on the market that ceased manufacturing. It was called, I can't think of what it was called. And it was a really nice yarn. And it was a nice, easy way. I kind of, I looked at that yarn. I made it a little softer. It was a yarn I had loved to use. My sister had loved to use it. I got a little warm talking about all that stuff. And so I went, when I talked to the mill, I knew kind of like I had a starting point, let's say. And I ended up changing the yarn totally. I went for a softer merino wool. All the colors are totally different. And now I've added a bunch of weights and all sorts of stuff like that. The twist is different. So anyway, I kind of had a jumping off point because I knew there was a product that was going away. So I came in and I said, okay, well, I can make that and I can make it better. And away I went. Oh, Deborah, finished my 2 temperature tees already? Oh my gosh, Deborah, you are always on the ball with your knitting. Thinking about my next projects. Well, I am wearing my temperature tee today. It's always a fun one to wear. It's in the color Iris Blossom. Such a nice, fun project to wear. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you too. So, I know when you order yarn online, you get a nice little packet with, your 2 skeins of yarn or whatever, and this is what you get in the mail. But for me, on this end, the yarn comes to me all finished up and bagged like this. So when I tell you I have 100 SKUs, that means I have all of these. This is just one. I get 60 of these in each color every time I order. So, here's Baba Bulky in indigo, and here's some Baba Bulky in saffron. So this is what I'm working with most of the time. And these come in big boxes, and I have to count them in and do the inventory, and then I ship out to yarn stores and I fulfill the orders on my website for you guys and stuff like that too. So there's always a moving component to I I rarely sit down and actually like knit or crochet. Like when I finish a project, I feel hugely accomplished because most of my life is spent dealing with the yarn in bulk, like in boxes. I've got a box here. I thought like my life is in cardboard and packing materials and all that sort of stuff. Deborah, rocking it. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I know. I needed a cute little outfit for today. Laura, when did you first start knitting? I started knitting. I was about, let's see, I was a senior in college. So I was like 22 or 23 when I learned how to knit. I had always been I grew up in a crafty house. We did all sorts of stuff. My dad was a woodworker. I know how to sew. I know how to embroider, everything like that. Knitting was always like it just wasn't something I had learned somehow. So, yeah, when I was about 22, my sister Nancy Queen opened a yarn store outside of Philadelphia, and I went out to visit the store, and she was like, "Okay, you need to learn how to knit." And I'm like, I do not want to learn how to knit. Like I paint, I do all my own, collage, like whatever the case may be. I was doing all that type of stuff. And she's like, okay, look how enamored you are by all the colors and textures in here. You need to sit down and learn how to knit. And I'm like, all right, fine. So it was a Saturday afternoon and she cast on a scarf. I still have it. I'll have to get it out someday for you. I cast on a scarf in like a big bulky yarn. It was called Yukon. It was a Plymouth yarn and it's gray. It's totally boring. I don't know why I picked something so boring. And I knit the scarf and then I made a black hat to match or to, wear to. And then it was the early 2000s. So I don't, if you've been a knitter for a little while, you might remember the felted bag craze of that era. So my next like 5 or 6 projects were felted bags. So I made a ton of those and those were super fun because you knit them big and loose and then you shrink them down. So if there were any mistakes, it never mattered because it was all just going to get like boiled away basically. So those were really fun projects. And yeah, that's how I started knitting. She had tried to teach me to crochet before that, and that went terribly. But then after I learned how to knit, I could understand the tension of crochet. Oh, Judy, how did you choose the name Yu? Okay, that is a cute little story. So, there's a big fashion brand, like an Italian fashion brand called Miu Miu, Miu. And I always have liked, like I said, here's my graphic designer mind. I've always liked how that little logo looked. And I don't know, it just always appealed to me. And I was like, what could I do that's sheep related? So I went for Yu, which in turn is 2 female sheep, which is part of my whole, the community of my company. So, I like to think of it as like your little friends knitting together. So, yeah, that's kind of where it all came from. It came to me in the middle of the night. One cold January morning. um so yeah, that was what I thought we'd talk about today. It's been um I liked getting that email. I love it when you guys send me questions. So if you have any questions, always feel free to shoot one uh to me. You can just reply to the newsletters if you get those, or we have a contact form at the bottom of every page on our website. So yeah, there is. So I started just with woolly worsted, and it was in, like I said, when you order yarn or anything manufactured, really, there's minimums and stuff. So for me, the minimum initial order I had to do was 7 colors. So I chose one weight of yarn, which was the basic one, my favorite, which is worsted weight. And then I chose a little rainbow palette of, let's see, it was berry and saffron and pistachio. Ooh. Teal. And then, let's see. Indigo was my purple. And then we went for the neutral, vanilla, and surprisingly, my other neutral was chocolate. Even though I really like black, I don't know. I went with chocolate. So here, I'll pick this up. There you go. That was my first color palette of woolly worsted back when I started. And hey, come on in. Okay. I had a little dog intermission. So those were the first 7 colors of woolly worsted. And then I gradually started adding, other shades. Like we did red poppy, and we got in the like aqua and the baby blue. And so it just sort of, it's just been incremental. When I can, I add more. And so I think I got up to about 20 colors of woolly worsted, which probably took about 3 years. And then I added You So Sporty, and this debuted in about 10 or 12 of those colors. And then I added more colors, and I think I got woolly worsted and You So Sporty up to 25 colors. Or maybe I kept the 20. And then I added Baba Bulky, so we got a little thicker. And then we got thinner and went fluffy fingering. And then the most recent addition is the Heathers, which is just what is the woolly worsted, just with those softer little tones and stuff like that. Oh, Laura, what is the most difficult part of being a small business owner? I suppose I would have to answer that in different ways at different times. Learning how to work effectively for myself, that's a constant journey. Knowing what to focus on, knowing what's going to bring the best results at any given time. So I think that is the biggest challenge for me. So, I mean, I'm pretty good. I get up every day. I shower. I have a good routine. I work like a 9 to 5, even though it's all here. My husband has a full-time job, so it's easy. Our little week is it just we work. So we don't I don't go out to lunch or whatever. I'm here. I work every day. So that part of like the dedication of the job, it's just more knowing where to focus my energy. And sometimes over the years it's been a hit and other times it's been a big miss. So, I think and that's one thing that you can only figure out through sort of trial and error too. So, and everything changes each year. That's another part of being a small business owner that's a wild ride, is that every year and every month and every week is, sometimes it's like, well, like the news happens and you just don't know which way things are going to go. And it's like, okay, well, maybe I have to try a little harder this week or whatever the case may be. Okay. Deborah, first initial palette of colors would make a gorgeous blanket. Yes, got it. Yes, I see. Thank you. Yes. There is a cute little scarf on our website called the oh my gosh, I can't believe. But anyway, there is a scarf that uses one ball of each of the woolly worsted, and it's knit the long way. And then you braid the ends. So it's like just a couple rows of each color. It's a nice little cute skinny scarf. Gosh, I can't think of what it's called. Anyway. So that is so we just started out with patterns. And I also started out only selling to yarn stores. Like I would go to the trade show twice a year, and we would meet. It was a wholesale trade show, and we'd meet yarn stores, and then they would order, and that's how it went for probably the first 6 years or so. So, oh, Karen, okay, hold on, one more dog intermission. Get out, go on. Okay, I don't know what her deal is today. Yes, Karen, marketing is hard, but thankfully I am, like I said, well, I've known marketing because I was a graphic designer. So I was doing, one of the reasons I wanted to start my own business was because I was doing marketing and branding for other small businesses. And somebody said, why don't you do your own thing? And I was like, oh, yeah, why don't I? So I kept doing the marketing on the side, as my main job for a long time. And like I said, was sort of my side hustle, dream on the side. And then eventually I took less and less freelance work. And yeah, now it's just you all the time. I mean, yes, it is hard doing outreach, and cold calls are probably the least favorite thing I have to do in a day. I've had some terrible ones of those. But then you get some real good ones. And I get to do stuff like this. This is marketing. Like coming out and getting to talk to you. It's it's a lot of fun. And plus, like I said, like I love doing photography, and so taking product photos, the days I get to do that, it's like, all right. And but it does get to be a lot, like keeping up with Instagram and keeping up with Facebook, and what are the changes going to be this week, and there's a new yarn store over here, how do I get in contact with them, or all sorts of different things like that. So yeah, anyway, that is kind of the brief line of my little company, Ewe Ewe Yarns. So I hope you had a good time chatting about this. I love that you asked some questions. That's awesome. And yeah, uh, I don't know. We have some fun stuff coming up. We're planning our kind of fall calendar. Um, if you're into knitting socks, or you want to learn how to make socks, or you want to perfect your socks, we have something fun coming, a new collaboration on that. We're working on our big winter knit along already. That pattern comes out in November. So we're sort of planning all of those like things and when we can get them done, or all of those. Oh, yay, socks. All right, Deborah. Well, that info is coming. We're going to have little kits and there's going to be a class. So I don't have all the details together yet, but it will be fun and it will be using Ewe Ewe Yarns. So that's exciting. And then what else? Oh, I think we have some new notions coming in. So we'll probably talk about notions in a couple weeks. I thought we'd talk about Halloween projects coming up. So yeah, I'm just in that like, we're getting back into it. It's coming up on knitting season, which is always so fun. So anyway, okay. Yeah, Deborah says kits. Yes, I know. There's some cute stuff in the kits. I'm super excited for them. I was just planning those. So that is what's going on here at Ewe Ewe Yarns. I hope you had a good time today. I hope you have something fun on your needles. I just started a new project that'll come out in the end of September. We have a San Diego yarn crawl. Anyway, I'm going to do a whole week on like what's coming up for fall. It's just all sort of in my mind. So I'll just I'll save it for that week and then we can talk about it then. But I've been working on so many little things that I feel like that's what's happening. So always something fun around here. Anyway, well, thanks for tuning in today to my little live chat, and I hope you had a good time. And I'll see you again next week. Thanks for coming, everybody.